Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you're tuning in. It's always a good time to tune in to Touchdown in Paradise here on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends here. I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
Russ.
And Petey is back. Welcome back, making his season.
We got a guest today. We got a guest.
You know, I just had to keep the fans, build up a little suspense here, you know? It's like, yeah, I'm a busy guy. I got life going on. You know, things are going down. But, you know, and my team didn't play last weekend. So, you know.
Yeah, well, I knew why. I was like, all right, first week will be here. I knew why you weren't here the second week. You were sick.
Well, I was sick, but it's fine. You know, I'm still not feeling 100%, but I'm battling through it. It's no big deal.
We're appreciative that you're
good to be back.
Jumping right in. Happy you're back. Arch rebounds. Texas cruises to a 38-7 win over San Jose State. Arch had 295 yards, 4 touchdowns, a pick, and a rushing TD. Walker Eget for the Spartans, 188 and 1 interception. So the discussion here is we've seen what Texas can be against the top of the top competition at Ohio State and the bottom of the bottom at San Jose. Will the Longhorns struggle to get through their gauntlet of an SEC schedule? Let's start with Russ.
Well, first off, Justin, I want to say always remember, never forget here on September 11th. You know, I want to shout out to everybody who's a first responder, everybody who did stuff on 9/11. My other co-host on College Blitz is a firefighter, so definitely everything they did for what everybody did on September 11th, going above and beyond. But, you know, always remember and, you know, never forget. But it's a gauntlet. I don't really put too much stock going into football, which you know, I mean, we love football, but, you know, it's just sports at the end of the day. We just love to drink beer and watch sports. But, I mean, going into Texas, I'm not putting really too much stock into last week. You know, yes, our Arch looked better, but that's not his normal – who he's going to be playing week in and week out. Trying to look up his schedule, Texas's schedule right now.
They got 2 cakewalks the next 2 games.
So, I mean, looking at Texas, it's nice you have a couple cake. You know, you got UTEP and Sam Houston for Arch to get a little more comfortable in the offense, but then you got to go play Florida, who, yes, had a bad game, but you're still playing in Gainesville. You got to play the Red River rivalry. Kentucky always plays a tough game. So, I mean, I see them winning some games, but they got some really tough games on the schedule. But the 2, you know, UTEP and Sam Houston State and this past week will be nice for Arch to get a little more rhythm into the offense, not having to go up against a Super Bowl winning DC right off the bat. But I think it's a wide open SEC. There's no 1 or 2 SEC teams that I see that are really dominant this year. I think there's a lot of good SEC teams, but I don't see an SEC team this year that's like the leader in the pack. I see a good 3 or 4 SEC teams, maybe 5, that could win the SEC. So that's my opinion.
Pete, jump in here. And Russ, thank you for the shout out for 9/11. We salute to all of our first responders, everyone who lost their lives on 9/11 24 years ago today, including my good friend Suzanne, who lost her father in 9/11. She grew up in Jersey and continues to be an inspiration and outspoken advocate against terrorism, and just an all-around amazing person. So shout out to Suzanne and the Kane family and everybody who may have a friend or family member who was lost that day or had a first responder. We remember, we never forget, and we thank everybody who helped in cleaning it up and leading us to where we are today. That being said, Pete, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, well said, Justin and Russ. I completely agree. With regards to the football, I think Russ is right. I mean, you got 2 easy games at home. It was good to see him come out and throw for a couple touchdowns, be more accurate. Yeah, you're not playing an elite defensive coordinator like you did when they played Ohio State. So, you know, only losing that first game 7-14 and really not playing that well, I think actually is kind of a win in the overall grand scheme of things. You're going to have 3 games in a row, 2 more where you can get back on track, throw for a ton of yards, just get like good vibes going, and then go up against the Florida in the Swamp, which is what you're going to need to be healthy. As long as they can just stay healthy, I think they're going to beat Florida in 3 weeks. But it was just kind of a basic game. I expected him to come out and play good. It would have been weird if he didn't, so I'm glad he did. But yeah, I don't take too much out of this. They're just kind of getting warmed up here the next couple weeks.
All great points. Fair assessment from Russ, and yes, great points from Pete too. We're going to go on the other side of the Red River here and visit Norman because OU squeaks by Michigan. I believe it was 24-13. John Mateer, who I was very impressed with, 270 in the air, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He also had 74 yards rushing, led the team, and 2 TDs on the ground. Deion Burks, by the way, 7 catches, 101 yards, and a score. Bryce Underwood on the other side, 9 of 24, 142 yards, and Justice Haynes, 125 on the ground and a TD. Is OU for real? John Mateer looked pretty well versed in running and passing, starting with Pete this time.
Yeah, I mean, every year I worry about them with their defense. They held Michigan to 13 points. I think this is maybe a story of the Underwood kid not being – they're paying him $10 million a year. He's got to play better than that. You don't even go 50% and you only throw for 140-some yards. Like, dude, you're not going to win like that. To me, I think Michigan needs more time. It's his first 2 games. And Oklahoma, I think, is better than we think. But I'm not going to jump out and say Oklahoma is amazing right now. I think really the defense has always been their problem. And if they can play defense like they played against Michigan, against better teams, I think they're going to be really good. But I was impressed. They won the game. He played really good. Mateer. It was kind of cool seeing him run the football. And I took more away on the Michigan side, and the Michigan's going to lose their coach upcoming. So, that whole program right now is kind of like, you would think if they're paying this kid $10 million a year, he'd be able to maybe steady the ship and kind of make up for some of those issues, but he did not. And he's yelling on the sidelines with other players. Just not a good look, dude. Like not leadership right there.
Russ, jumping.
Is that guaranteed he's making $10 million, Pete?
I'm almost positive that's his NIL deal. It's like worth like total. Yeah.
In 3 years.
Yeah, but still $10 million. Like, man, come on.
I think Oklahoma looked really, really good. I don't winning by 11 points, really, I guess to Justin, that's squeaking a win out. You squeak a win out, you win by a touchdown and a field goal. A touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal. But I think they're on the way. I think John Mateer looked very good. I think their wide receiver core, they got a nice 3-headed monster with Deion Burks, who's got 14 for 189. You've got the tight end, Jaron Kanak, who's got 10 for 159. And then you've got Keontez Lewis with 12 for 155 and 2 touchdowns. So I think they got a good 3-headed monster. I think John Mateer is definitely the quarterback that Oklahoma needs. And I know we didn't see much of him, but Jaden Ott, who was injured a lot last year, but now is healthy. He only had 5. Who's only got 5 carries for 6 yards. I think he's going to be a big part of that rushing attack for Oklahoma. I wouldn't go all the way back yet. I still want to see a little more, but I think they're in the Brett Bielema's started going in the right direction. John Mateer is definitely the guy. They had a lot of injuries last year and definitely poor quarterback play. I think John Mateer can get it done, but you got what? You got Auburn, excuse me. You got Temple, and then you play Auburn, Kent State, and then you got the Red River rivalry against Texas. And they got a tough schedule. You got Oklahoma, you got Texas, South Carolina, and then you play Ole Miss, and then you play at Tennessee. So, they've got a rough couple weeks there, but I think moving in the right direction.
Great assessments from both of you. I'm thinking that Michigan is just struggling with their identity post Harbaugh, still year 2 without him. Sharon Moore is about to get suspended for 2 games. He's going to miss this week and then the Nebraska game after that. And with Oklahoma, I agree. I don't see an over-the-top contender. I see a really good team, borderline great. And they've got all the pieces now. Russ, I like what you said there about the Brett Bielema turning point of now they're starting to find their stride and look good. Yeah, they're on their way back up. It's a completely different identity. And Pete, to your point, yes, they have struggled with defense for many, many years. But this is now SEC Oklahoma. This is now Brent Venables Oklahoma, who's a defensive specialist. No longer Lincoln Riley Oklahoma in the Big 12, which is a score contest pillow fight every week. This is a totally different identity of a program, and they're just getting used to the SEC here. But this is a big building block of a win, I'll say, for Brett Venables.
Bob Stoops, Oklahoma. I mean, Lincoln Riley was there only so many years. I mean, Stoops is definitely not the last couple of years after. Yes, Lincoln Riley had some good years after Stoops retired, but I mean, it's definitely Bob Stoops. When Stoops was there, he was putting out great teams, and this is not the Oklahoma we're used to. I think they're in the right direction. You got a good quarterback. I will say John Mateer puts some zip on the ball. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, he doesn't
he can run too. He can run.
He can, but there's no like air. That's the one thing that worries about me about him is there is no like he has no not. I didn't see a lot of touch in that game. It was like when he needed to put touch, he would throw a line drive with zip. So it's like, hey, there's no issue if he's got to get a throw in a little tight window. He's got the arm strength. But I'm like, give me a little touch. Give me a little touch. Put it right over the defender. He didn't really do that. But the legs, I think it's the same thing with Texas is the same thing with Oklahoma. It's a wide open SEC where George is breaking in a new quarterback. And we'll talk about it later. They're breaking in a new guy. Tennessee's breaking in a new guy. South Carolina should be there. I mean, Florida's got a really tough – I think it's a wide open SEC that there is a handful of teams that can win the SEC. And if we saw anything and learned anything from last year's college football playoffs is the teams that are there at the end and winning are teams like that have veteran quarterbacks like Miami and like Oklahoma. They have a veteran quarterback like we saw with Will Howard and Riley Leonard. That they both have that some of the other teams we're looking at that have younger quarterbacks. We have guys who just know how to play the game, have been there, done that they might have an advantage in that aspect over other teams just because they have a guy who's been 4 years in college football, 3 years in college football.
No, that's so true. Thank you, Russ. Speaking of Florida, we got to talk about what happened in Gainesville this weekend, don't we? The Gators got stormed by the Bulls, 18-16 in the Swamp. We had Byron Brown with 263 yards in the air, 66 in the ground, 1 touchdown through the air. DJ Lagway, my favorite number, 222 yards in the air, 1 touchdown and a pick. Eugene Wilson III, 7 catches, 60 yards and a touchdown. But these fans are restless. They've been through the gauntlet with Billy Napier. He's now, 500 or quite a bit below 500. This is a point where Dan Mullen didn't even get to this point at Florida. He had a much better record, and he still got fired. Billy still has his job here. Pete, when is the right time to either fire him or go in another direction? Or I don't even know what you do.
I think maybe we'll see how they play against Texas in a couple weeks. But, I thought he should have been gone previously. So, to me, he's already, he's past his rope here. The buyout's only $22 million on him. It's not that crazy. So I don't know. Do you keep doing this? Wait 3 more weeks and then Texas comes in and stomps the shit out of you. And then it's okay, well, we should have just fired.
They got Miami next week.
No, I know, but Texas plays Florida in a couple weeks, right? Yeah, they do.
Yeah, Florida plays Miami next week.
Oh, well, yeah. So I guess, you could just look at that one then. You don't have to wait to the Texas game.
Yeah.
So, but I think he should have been gone, and $22 million. Florida's a historic program. They need to be up there in the mix every year, and they're just not with this guy. He just doesn't win enough games. And it's always like they'll have an amazing game and they'll play like dog crap. And it's like, so yeah, I'm out on him. I'm not that impressed. I thought it was cool Grammatica's kid hitting the field goal to win the game. That was dope, just because I used to love him when he was in the NFL. But yeah, I'm not a Gators fan, but football is better when they're good, and they're not good. So I think they might get rocked by Miami this coming week. And I was thinking Texas was going to beat them regardless in 3 weeks. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Russ,
I think
any comments on Florida?
On the Miami thing, and being a sports fan, like I think obviously I'm not excuse me, I said Florida, I said Miami. Florida thing, and going off what Pete said, not being a Miami fan, I think if you're a real sports fan, like I'm a diehard New York Yankees fan. I dislike the Red Sox. I don't like the Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers too. But I can realize as a baseball guy and being a guy who loves baseball that baseball is better when the Red Sox, Yankees, and Dodgers are good. It's just better for the game. Florida is a blue blood football program. I mean, shoot, Gatorade was invented in Gainesville. So it is, I mean, to see Florida go out there and lose to USF, who is considered maybe the number 4 school in Florida in the state, maybe, and probably not the number 4 school because UCF has had some very good years. Now, Florida, USF's looking great, and I like what I'm seeing. I think they're on an upward trajectory. I don't know how they're going to do it against Miami this week. But, I mean, Florida didn't play a clean game. They played a sloppy game. A lot of penalties kept them in there. Byron Brown is – I don't know how they're going to do this week with Brown being the leading rusher. I think Miami keys on Brown and make him throw. But on Florida, I know I know Justin was high, and I was kind of high. I was higher. I wasn't as high, but we saw the glimpses because they looked better. But I was like, hey, the schedule is really tough. I didn't see them. I don't think anybody predicted the USF win. If you did, I hope you made a lot of money on that. But I mean, you played a sloppy game. DJ Lagway has not looked good the last 2 weeks. I mean, his first week he didn't look good. He didn't look good against there. They kind of took away the running game. They decided not to run the ball against USF and made Lagway a thrower. I think, Billy Napier's had a really long leash, and football is better when I mean, I know this network, a lot of Canes fans, but I'll say it's better when Miami is good. It's good when Florida State's good. It's good when, it's good when Florida's good. Those are some good blue blood schools. So, I mean, I think it's good for when you've got Florida competing in there, and Florida hasn't competed for a while for an SEC title. So, I mean, he's had a really long leash. I don't think they'll go in season, but if you go out and lose to Miami and then you go to lose to Texas, $22 million, like Pete said, that's on the low side of a buyout nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really fair assessments, both of you here. Here's what I'll say. I was high on Florida. I did pick them as a dark horse in the SEC. And look, they could always turn it around, but I just don't see it. Billy Napier is still Billy Napier. Last year may have been a fluke when it comes to that, but at the same time, USF has been on a trajectory up. I knew Alex Golesh was the right guy. You know how tough they've been playing Alabama the last couple of years until, of course, all hell broke loose at the end. Last week, I did predict the cover. I was tempted to pick the upset because I felt like they're just so close, but they're not making it. And I recognize that because UCF was there many years ago. And then before I was there, before I was a fan, we beat Georgia in a bowl game. And that's the win that finally pushed us through. Okay, finally, the sleeping giant can wake up, but can they be consistent? And so far, USF has beaten the shit out of Boise State. They've beaten Florida. They get Miami next. Now, the question here is, if they beat Miami on the road and maybe do it convincingly, where do you put the Bulls in the rankings?
They're not going to beat Miami. That's all I got to say. They're not going to beat that Miami team.
I mean, if they do, though.
If they do, but I mean,
top 15, top 10. I don't know.
I mean, if they do, you got to put them in the top 12 because that's how.
Three straight ranked wins, that would be. We don't know what Boise State is yet.
But I think that yes, the Boise State victory is great. I think Boise State was ranked top 25 in my opinion, more off of last year than what they are going into this year, because you obviously saw it. We were all watching the game together, which we don't really get to do. Watch all the game because you guys are in California, I'm here in Florida. We were watching that game, and you saw last year with Boise State, if you took Ashton Jeanty out of the game, the offense fell apart, and you definitely saw that in Boise State. But to give USF the credit, it was still a top 25 victory. So they're not going to beat this Miami team. This Miami team is really good, and Pete can talk about that too. But do I see them? And we'll get into that later. I don't covering. I don't 17. When I see as a guy in a legal betting state, when I see a 17.5 point spread, I'm like, I'm not even going to bet it because the money line isn't worth it. And then I got to give the team 17.5 points. I don't know.
I took it last week and I hit that.
You put money on it? You put money on it?
I didn't take the money, but I did just call it, is what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm talking about like hard cash. Like putting I was like, I don't know if I can put the hard cash knowing I got to give up 17.
I got $350.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if I'm not rolling in it like some people.
Mm-hmm. Moving along here, Lane Kiffin gets the UK monkey off his back and beats the Wildcats in Lexington. Austin Simmons did not look great with throwing the football, but he still did have 235 yards, 2 picks to go along with it. Kawan Lacey, 135 on the ground and 1 touchdown. Zach Calzada, also no touchdowns, 149. Seth McGowan, though, 93 yards and 2 rushing scores for the Wildcats. No touchdown passes at all in this game. Now, we know that this has been kind of a thorn in Lane Kiffin's side against Kentucky. We saw how great the team looked last year, but they still lost Kentucky at home. This time they win on the road. What do we assess? Is Ole Miss a full-on contender, or is this just not as good as last year? Russ, start with you.
Yeah, I think it's big that, you beat Kentucky. I think Kentucky is a tough team. Mark Stoops does a great job preparing for teams coming in, and Kentucky is always a team that gives those ranked opponents a tough game, like Georgia. Every year you look – I think I've done the last 2 years, I've bet on Georgia to cover against Kentucky, and they've lost both times. So Kentucky's always that team that's going to give you a tough game. Mark Stoops – I think it's Mark Stoops, if I'm correct. If I'm wrong, correct me. Always gives the team a tough time. So, you get that off the bat. I think Ole Miss is good. I don't know if they're SEC championship good or playoff good this year, because obviously in this college football landscape, you don't even have to make the title game to make it. My real question is, do we think SEC this year, which I think in other years they deserve 3 teams, but in this year, do we think the SEC gets 3 teams? But
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Pete, comments on the Rebels and Wildcats.
Every year I feel like I pick Lane Kiffin, the Lane Train, to be my dark horse candidate. I've lost faith in the guy. So until he really makes the playoff in any form, really, and does something, I just can't, stay on the train. They were down 10-0, came back, took control of it. They had the lead the rest of the way. It's good comeback. Losing their quarterback to the NFL, starting a new quarterback this season. It's just a lot going on. Lane Kiffin's a good offensive guy. to me, it's always been defense, and then they'll have lapses out of nowhere on offense where you're just like, dude, I thought you were a good offensive coordinator, basically. So I don't know. I mean, their schedule's tough though, dude. Like, I mean, you're just looking at it, and they got some tough games coming up. It's like not that easy. I mean, you got LSU in a couple weeks, Arkansas next week. Grant, it's at home, but Arkansas is always hard. You got Washington State coming to Ole Miss, and that's kind of a random one. Georgia after that, and then Oklahoma, then South Carolina. It's like, it's not an easy schedule. So I don't know. I'm whatever about him until he really proves me right or proves me wrong by being good. I'm not going to really stay on the train. So I'm off the train, man. No Lane train this season.
The former conductor of the Lane train hitting the brakes.
I know. Sorry, Lane. Can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Some other notable games around the country this weekend. Mizzou beat KU in the Border War revived. I don't know about you guys. It was so good to see that rivalry back. There's some real bad blood, hatred between those teams. And it comes at a time when the pro team is the talk of the entire sports world right there in the Kansas City area, right along the border. So I think it's a good time if you live in the Kansas or Missouri area because you've got a lot of buzz happening now. Not to mention that your new queen, Taylor Swift, is now engaged.
Please now.
The Queen of Missouri. Oh, sorry, the Queen of Missouri.
Yeah. You're from Missouri. That's how you real say it.
I grew up in Missouri City, Texas. That's how I always knew it. But I guess Missouri is quite different. Moving along here, staying in the state of Kansas, Army beats Kansas State. The same Army team who lost to Tarleton State last week beats the Wildcats on the road in Manhattan. I don't know what's going on in Manhattan, Kansas. The Little Apple has got to be pretty hot right now with Chris Cloud.
I mean, Kansas State, you go to Ireland, you lose to Iowa State, and then you go play UND, who's not even the best team in the state, and have to have a last-second field goal to beat UND. I can only imagine if you play NDSU, what's going to happen there, and then you lose to Army. So for a team that was considered a Big 10, Big 12 title, contender, it's not a good start. And I mean, I get it. They only got one loss in the Big 12, so they're still right there in the Big 12, but it's not a good start for the Wildcats.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Not good at all. But Army's always a tough team to play. I mean, as a Notre Dame fan, playing the military schools all the time, like they're tough. So like, yeah, it's one of those ones where just not good, but good for Army. I like Army.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you got to respect the Army, especially on 9/11. So we thank all our servicemen and women. Bama bounces back. Yes, after that loss to Florida State, they still look great, but they were playing some questionable competition. It's a cupcake week. It's early season. Cyclones win the Cyhawk Trophy. Yes, the battle of the Hawkeye States. I guess you could call it the Cyclone State now because on a last-second field goal, Iowa State beats Iowa. Not much there. It's the Iowa schools, very low scoring. I like to think of it this way, and I'll quote Dan Lanning in a way here, but Iowa plays for punts, Cyclones play for wins. Sound accurate?
I agree. Not much of a game, but that's how it always is between them.
Do we think with after the I know Pete wasn't on here with us after the Florida State Alabama losing to Florida State and Ty Simpson's kind of looking a little pedestrian. Do we think if they go out, say they beat Wisconsin, but the offense kind of a lot of checkdowns, will we see Austin Mack or Keelan Russell there? Because that offense against Florida State for Alabama didn't really have any explosiveness with Ryan Williams, correct?
Mm-hmm. But Ryan Williams got hurt in the game too.
Yeah, but that's still one of the best receivers in college football. Do you think we would see, Austin Mack or the phenom freshman Keelan Russell?
Yes, because I think at this point the fan base is not happy with Kalen DeBoer, and he needs to throw one of those leashes out there to save his job at that point if they're looking completely flat against the Badgers.
I think so too, especially because Wisconsin. Not say they're bad, but they shouldn't even be in the same league as Alabama, or at least that's how Alabama fans see it. So yeah, I think if that game's not going good, dude, like I just saw the other day they interviewed a lady in Alabama, and she said if she won the Powerball or whatever, she'd spend the $70 million to buy him out of his contract. I was like, that's peak Alabama right there. So yeah, I think they're already kind of over this dude, like. But at the same time, you go from like the greatest coach of all time or the greatest coach and recruiter of all time to a dude who's a very good coach. Like, you can't go from the greatest to immediately then the greatest again. Like it almost never happens. But yeah, his leash is basically non-existent right now.
You never want to be we had Derek. I'm a Yankees fan. We had Derek Jeter, and we're still trying to find our shortstop. But you never. And this is years Jeter after retired, but you never want to be the guy after the guy, which is Kalen DeBoer. And I'm a huge Kalen DeBoer guy, but to follow up Nick Saban, who could be considered the best coach in all of football, not just college football. You could consider the best coach in all of football. You don't want to be that guy. And we all know Alabama has very high expectations because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's definitely an uphill battle. I root for Kalen DeBoer, knowing his story. The guy is a guy that I said, you look up to. It's a guy who's gone through it. He has gone through the levels, winning titles at an NAIA level to go to D2 to D1. But you're following up one of the greatest, if not the greatest coach in football history, in Nick Saban. It's always going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in that position, but shit, you want to give me $87 million? I'll freaking go in there, dude. Like, oh, Nick Saban, who? This is my school now, dude. $87 million, I'll go anywhere, dude.
And plus, when you get fired, you get to leave Alabama with all that cash and come back.
Exactly. Dude, take the first season, get fired, screw off to a beach somewhere, and chill out.
That's what Jimbo's doing right now. He's living.
Heck yeah.
Do we think Jimbo ever gets a job in college football again? Is a question.
If he gets to, I'm sure he could. He could go to like Bowling Green.
1,000%. If he gets bored, yeah.
There's
no reason why he should go back unless he's bored.
Reasons not to, though.
Yeah, but a lot of these football guys do get bored very easily. I'm sure his family's like, you better stay out. Let's go. You got just let's sit on a beach in Mexico and Dominican Republic and all these places. But now.
Yeah, you really get the itch. Just start a YouTube channel and break down game film every week, like just do that.
Gruden
Gruden. That's what Mike McCarthy was doing after he left freaking Green Bay, So yeah, I would just do that. No stress in that. Just chill in your little man cave, break down some footage, drink a bunch of beers,
Yeah. Recapping real quick here. Florida State, Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State crush lesser competition. Illinois smashes Duke and Durham. And Clemson struggles yet again, but they pull through in the second half to beat Troy. And
quick question. Is this the beginning of the end after that 69-3 just absolute just take it behind the woodshed and beat to a pulp, but the beginning of the end of Mike Gundy in Stillwater, Oklahoma?
That's a good question here.
I think so. Based on simply like the comments that he makes and stuff, it's just like, dude, I think you're done. Like, wasn't he talking the other day? He said something about, if we had Oregon's like NIL money and stuff. It's like, dude, bro, if you're just gonna chalk everything up to that, you might as well just get out of college football right now. Like, why even play schools that have more money than you?
That's right. He essentially said that they buy their players, and Dan Lanning claps back and says, "We invest in winning." It's like an excuse for people who don't and lose. And so I know Oklahoma State is not by any means the poorest school. They still have T. Boone Pickens' money coming in, but still, they're not Phil Knight and Nike, who is investing in everything. So, yeah, at this point, I think the game has just gone far too beyond where he is. But does Oklahoma State have the courage to get rid of him? Alumni of the school who's been there for how long? 14, 15 years. And he's gotten close to contending, but he's never actually made the title game, as in the national title game. He's won the Big 12 title at least once. But it just always seems like something goes wrong, and then they never get there. So I just feel like they've been capped forever. And it's time now that they're not even close to where they were capped. They are in no man's land.
He's not going to win you a national title, so you might as well just move on. I just think the way he's acting, some of the stuff he's been saying the past couple seasons, I'm just like, all right, dude, like, get out, get someone new in there.
Yep. Moving along into our Paradise Parlay. PD Parlay is back for the first time this season. We're going to start with Clemson, Georgia Tech. Clemson is a 3.5-point favorite on the road in Atlanta, 53.5 over under. Clemson money line is minus 162. Georgia Tech plus 136 at home. I'm going to take the first swing of this one here. I am not impressed by Clemson, but what is Dabo? He finds a way to win. I don't think that this is going to be easy, of course. Georgia Tech under Brent Key has been very tough, especially the grinded out type style that they play on the ground with Haynes King and Jamal Haynes. They are going to really take it to Clemson. They may actually run all over them. They let Troy did. Eventually, in the end, though, I do see Clemson winning by a field goal. So Georgia Tech is going to cover that, but it'll be a 3-point win late. And I'll go the under, and I've got Clemson money line. Russ.
I think this is a game that is a must-watch. A must-watch game that is not the Notre Dame, Texas A&M, or Georgia, Tennessee, or the Miami USF game. This is a must-watch game. If you love college football, watch Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech is a dark horse, if not a team that can make some noise in the ACC. At the end of the day, I think Clemson has too much talent on the field to lose this game. I think they end up winning, but I'm with you, Justin. I think a cover for Georgia Tech, but Clemson will end up winning this game. And I'm trying to get the I'm going to go slight under. I think it's going to be under, but I would not be surprised if Georgia Tech wins this game. I think Brett Key runs a phenomenal operation there in Georgia Tech. He doesn't overlook anybody. They play a good quality football game. And I do have some questions about Clemson, but I think they just have too much talent on the field.
Petey.
Yeah, I mean, I got questions about Clemson too. Russ, you're right. Dabo always kind of finds a way to win some of these games. But, I mean, Georgia's, averaging 570 yards a game and 43 points. So I think Georgia Tech has a chance here. They're always tough to play, even when Notre Dame plays them. Like, they're just not an easy win. So I think it's going to be I think actually it's going to go over, but not by much. But I think the over is going to hit. I think Clemson's going to win, and I think they're barely going to cover. I think it's going to be like maybe a 1-point game, and then Clemson hits a field goal to push it to 4 or something, and then they win by 4. But I think it's going to be a good game. Really good game.
Right off the bat, nice 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, nice 12 o'clock start. Kick off the day. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Southern football fight. And I got to say, this Georgia Tech program, what Brent Key is running, it almost reminds me of the grit and grind Memphis Grizzlies from the mid-2010s. There were other teams that were far more athletic and talented and everything, but they would always just wear you down with their grinded out style and their bigger guys and get to the basket, the dirty, hard-nosed work. That's what this Georgia Tech program is now built on. And if they can get, I think, like I said about Illinois, if they just get like 1 or 2 elite playmakers, then they can really start becoming a contender. And Brett Bielema's built the foundation. Now he's got those. Once Georgia Tech, I feel like, gets those really dynamic, that 5-star quarterback, that 5-star receiver, and then continues this upfront hard-nosed battle, that's when Georgia Tech will really take off. They're close. They're building. So, moving along here. On the other side, Georgia at Tennessee. Georgia's a road favorite here, also 3.5. Over-under is 49.5. UGA minus 170 money line, Tennessee plus 142. Starting with Pete this time.
Yeah, so I think, Georgia's won 8 straight against Tennessee, but I think they're not going to make it to 9. I think Tennessee's going to win this game. So I'm going to take the Tennessee money line. I think it's going to hit the over, although Georgia's defense has been playing really good against the run. And Tennessee's going to cover the spread. I just think this is, it's at home. It's in Neyland. Tennessee has scored 117 points in the first 2 freaking games of the season. So they're kind of rocking and rolling here. And I think Aguilar is going to play really well. He's completing almost 70% of his passes. I think it's just that environment, as we all love to watch those games in Neyland. I think it's just going to be epic. And I think Georgia's going to put up a good fight, but Tennessee's going to come out on top, just maybe by a touchdown.
I'm with you, Pete. I like the Vols here too. Georgia's got a new quarterback in. Joey Aguilar, a new guy as well here, but I just feel like Tennessee has looked like the better team the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to go with the Vols to cover. I will go with the over. A lot of points going to be scored here, and I'll take the Tennessee money line. Russ.
Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. All right. I'm going Tennessee to win. Obviously, they're going to cover if they win. This is really going to come down to what is Gunnar Stockton going to do? There's been a lot, excuse my language, a lot of shit talk this year about Carson Beck. A lot of shit talk. I know he gets a lot of the blame of what happened last year. You can't put all the blame at Carson Beck's feet last year for what had a poor offensive line play, poor running game, which when Georgia was great, what was cooking? It was a strong offensive line and a great running game. You didn't have that last year, and then you throw in the drops. Now we throw in Gunnar Stockton, who is, yes, they're 2-0. They played Marshall and Austin Peay. You're coming into Neyland Stadium. He's going to see a lot of checker, a lot of orange and white. Tennessee's going to get this W. Neyland Stadium, 102 crazy Vols fans. I just don't see it. I want to see Gunnar Stockton do it. This guy's been in the program for a while. He was in the program when Carson Beck was there, didn't win the job. Yes, he came in when they played Notre Dame. Is Gunnar Stockton better than Carson Beck? And I know a lot of Georgia fans are saying, and if you watch any college football show or college, that Georgia fans think he's the shit and he's better. I think Carson Beck gets a lot of shit. I just don't see. I think Joey Aguilar looked good week 1 against Syracuse, and he's coming into Neyland. So I don't see Georgia winning this game. I see Tennessee covering, Tennessee winning, and Josh Heupel. It's going to be aired out. It's going to be over. Now that's, but I want to see it from Gunnar Stockton. Maybe he proves me wrong. But if he proves me wrong, good for him. But I see Tennessee handling this game in Neyland. And you got game day there. Pat McAfee's going to be ready to go, doing a jump in, I think it's the Cumberland River. It's going to be, they're going to be ready to go. A lot of checker, a lot of orange and white.
That's right. All right, moving along here. The backyard brawl, Pitt at West Virginia. Pitt's a 7-point favorite on the road here, 57.5 over-under. Pitt money line is minus 310. West Virginia plus 250. Starting with Russ this time.
Yeah, I really have no clue, Justin. I have no clue. I'm going to go – if I'm wrong on this, I guess I'm really bad, but I'm going to go West Spa cover. I'm going to go a Pitt win and 56 points. So the under.
Mm-hmm. All right, Pete.
But I'm going to – I have no clue.
Yeah, I think Pitt's going to win. I was just reading that there's some major key players on West Virginia that are hurt. Jaheim White, the running back, and Jaden Bray, the wide receiver. Pitt's defense is pretty good. The front seven's pretty good. So I think they're going to get it done. As to how, I'm going to probably take Pitt to cover. I think I'll take them to cover because I think they're going to win by maybe 10 or 12 points. I think it's going to hit under, though. I don't think it's going to be the most high-scoring game, so I think it might be like, I don't know, 28-20 or 30-20. Oh, no. Yeah, 30-20. So I think it's going to be around 50 points, and then Pitt money line. But I think Pitt gets it done.
I'm with you guys. Pitt is going to win this, and pretty cleanly. They're going to mop the floor. West Virginia lost to Ohio, not Ohio State, Ohio last week. And with all those key injuries in a game filled with just hatred and everything, a really rough rivalry there, they want to make a statement, especially on the road in Morgantown. So I think Pitt is going to win by 14-21 points, I'll say. So I've got Pitt covering. I've got the over, and I'll go Pitt money line.
I guess I'm the idiot, but it's all good.
Coming up here next, USF at Miami. Miami an 18.5-point favorite. One more point than Florida was last week. 56.5 over under. Miami minus 950. USF plus 625. I'll go first here. Last week, I did pick USF as the cover of the week, and I'll pick them again as my cover of the week here because I really do think that they're very good. Well, excuse me. I'm not going to make them my cover of the week, but I will say I think they are going to cover. And I will go the under here. I'm going to think it's going to be pretty low scoring. And then I'll go Miami to pull out the victory late. Go ahead, Russ.
So it's 17.5 now. So it's came down a point.
So they're getting this the same way Florida did. Okay. Watch out, Miami.
And I think this game is good for Miami because especially the way USF is playing. I think you come in, you see USF on the schedule, and you're like, oh, they're not going to be great. It's a easy cakewalk game where now USF is top 25 and beat two top 25 opponents. Right, you're going to have to come out and play hard. So I think this is good for Miami, and this is another game on their schedule that they already beat Notre Dame. And if they can beat USF, that's two top 25 victories on the schedule. That definitely, even though Miami was right there on the college football playoff last year, that kept them. That was one of the reasons that probably would have kept them out if one or two things didn't happen last year. So I think this is good for Miami. I don't think it's going to be like last year's USF Miami, which was like 55-15 or something like that. USF plays a tough game.
Yeah.
USF plays, but USF, they'll play like last year against Miami. They played a tough first half. We saw them against Alabama. They played a really tough three quarters and it fell off. I think USF ends up covering. I think it'll be like a 14-16 point loss. But at the end of the day, Miami's got too much. So I think Miami wins and the over.
All right, Pete.
Yeah, one thing we didn't do good against Miami was run the ball. And obviously this year without Riley Leonard, our quarterback doesn't really run. So Byron Brown can run and pass. So I think it's going to be good. I think he's going to be able to probably scramble and do some design runs to wear down their defense and just keep the clock going. So I think it's going to hit the under. I think Miami does cover. I think it's probably going to be like a 35 to like, I don't know, maybe 17 game or something like that. And so they might barely cover. But I think it's going to hit the under. Miami's going to win for sure. But I think it's going to be, not as high scoring a game as we think, just simply because of that.
The one thing you got to look at in this game is because as we saw with Miami, can't put too much stock in them playing Bethune-Cookman, but when they played Notre Dame, is their defense is much improved. But will they key on Byron Brown because he is the leading rusher of that team? So are they going to take him out of the game and make him a passer? Yes, he's got 493 yards, but he's got like 120 rushing. So are they going to take him out? And the running back, who's the second leading runner, has 89 yards on the ground, and one of them was a 49-yard touchdown. So what will Miami do to take him out? I think Miami ends up taking him out of the game. And I know Miami gets a lot of shit for not showing up, those sports teams, but as Pete can attest, they showed up and showed out for that game. I was watching on TV and that shit was loud.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And speaking of showing up, I'm so glad Pete showed up for this, because today's game of the week, Texas A&M at South Bend to face Notre Dame and the Fighting Irish. Notre Dame is a 7-point favorite at home, 49.5 over under. The Irish are a money line favorite of 278, A&M plus 225. Petey, kick us off.
Yeah, so I think, I know we're going to win this game, mainly because our back's against the wall. We can't lose one more damn game and make the playoff. So I think we're going to come out hot. I think we got to get the ball to Jeremiah Love more. I mean, we barely gave him any touches in that Miami game, and it's just like, dude, he's like one of the best running backs in the country. And it's like, why aren't we giving the guy the ball more? And I think Carr's going to be more comfortable. I think the game plan is going to be a lot better. I thought sometimes we were just the game plan was not that good against Miami. And we still almost won the game, and we didn't really play that great. And not saying Miami's not good, but I just thought we didn't play our game, and we didn't use our superstar running back the way that we should have. So I think we're going to go into Texas A&M. We're going to beat the crap out of those sandbaggers, and Notre Dame's going to win by – oh, okay, they're coming to us. So my bad. We're definitely going to beat the crap out of them, probably by 2 touchdowns now. So I'm going to take Notre Dame to win by like 14. I think this is going to hit the over. I think we're probably going to win 34-20. So it's going to barely hit the over.
All right, Russ.
So let's go, baby.
So, I mean, I think if you want to go, Justin, I'm looking at.
I'll jump in here. This is a tough game to pick. And last year, Mike Elko, that was his first game as the Texas A&M head coach, a guy who I know Pete has a lot of respect for because of his time at Notre Dame.
Yep.
And he's starting to build a program here. And what I'm going to say here is they remember that game, and they also didn't start Marcel Reed in that game either. Marcel Reed can ball. So how is he going to respond on the road in a hostile environment under touchdown Jesus? That's what I'm excited to see. My heart says pick Notre Dame, but my head says something about Texas A&M here might pull through. So I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to pick the Aggies in a very, very, very close one. I'm going to say Aggies cover. I'm going to go the under, and then I will, of course, take the money line here. Russ.
I think this is a very tough game to pick. Honestly, I know it's in South Bend. I think Mike Elko has shown what he does as a coach from his time as a DC to his time at Duke to his time as Texas A&M. He prepares great. He puts a great defensive performance together. So I think at the end of the day, and I've said it in the past, Notre Dame took the loss against Miami. It was kind of a win. You take a win in the loss because CJ Carr looked a guy coming into his first start, didn't look right. He made the throws they gave him. Now, I think they got to open the playbook up a little more for him. But in a hostile environment, he didn't make a big mistake. And the defense, I think the defense with Marcus Freeman is always going to be geared up, ready to go. Notre Dame could have won that game minus a very poor start to the second half where they rammed it down Notre Dame's throat. They gave up 6 points in the second half. So they could have won that game. And you did it with, I think it's Kadarian Price, if right? I'm right. And Jeremiah Love, who had, Price had one big, gashed him on one big possession. And Jeremiah Love, who's a Heisman favorite, had 33 yards. So I think they got to open the playbook up. I think Mike Elko does a great job on defense. I think Texas A&M covers. But at the end of the day, Notre Dame wins this game. And I think it's going to be a 5 to 6 point game. I think it's going to be another great game like we saw last year. I'm going to go barely the over. I think it'll be hit the over, but very close. And nowadays in college football, we're like 50 points at 27-24 games, a good defensive ball game, right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. And just real quickly here, upset cover of the week. I'm going to go Central Michigan at Michigan without Sharon Moore there. Central Michigan against this team here. Yeah, it could be a blowout, but I do feel like it could be maybe a little bit closer here unless Bryce Underwood is just hiding something in his arsenal and just waiting to break it out against lesser competition. Russ, you got one this week?
I'm trying to look. If you want to go, Pete, you can go.
Yeah. Pete, do you have one this week?
No, you're good. I'm going to take New Mexico to cover against UCLA. I just kind of want the Nico, the former Tennessee quarterback. I want him in UCLA to lose.
Yeah,
So
Maliova.
yeah, so I'm thinking New Mexico because I think they're way overrated. Since he left, it's almost like Tennessee could give two craps about him. So I think it's going to kind of continue this week. I think New Mexico is going to cover the 13 points, not win, but I would be happy if they did.
Well, I've got the Chippewas. Central Michigan Chippewas at University.
All right.
Okay, you're copying me. Sounds good.
20. Did you pick that one?
Yes. Did you not just hear me say that?
No, I did not. I was trying to pick my game.
Hey, great minds think alike, you know?
Well, you said
All right.
Central Michigan. I went with the Chippewas. So
Yes.
that's where I got trouble. Yeah.
All right, we'll share this week. That's fine.
I usually don't like that, but I didn't hear it, so it didn't happen.
All good, brother.
Yeah.
Just watch the tape later. You'll see.
Yeah, right.
Other games we're watching this week. Pete, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm really interested because I know we were talking about is the SEC going to get three teams? I think the ACC has a good chance if Miami plays as well as they do and Clemson really kind of gets rolling. So I'm really going to be watching that Clemson Georgia Tech game just to kind of see how they handle it. So that's what I'm really. I mean, besides Notre Dame, obviously, I'm just going to go on a limb. That game I'm very interested in since it's at Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good pick, Russ. What else are you watching?
I mean, I think there's 4 games. There's about 4 games to watch. That's Notre Dame, Texas A&M right there. That night game. It's LSU Florida. How's Florida going to be? And I think this is in a wide open SEC. Brian Kelly can take the SEC. I think they got the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in college football, and Garrett Nussmeier. It's Miami, USF. And then also, this isn't a game I'm watching, but a team I'm watching, and that is the University of Illinois. I'm blanking on what they're
Fighting Illini.
Fighting Illini.
Fighting Illini.
Come on, brother.
Brett Bielema's got him going to make some noise. So, yes, they're playing Western Michigan this week, but I'm watching them in the Big 12. I think they can make some noise.
Big 10.
I think so too, man.
Fuck, I'm drinking.
He's been coaching very good the past couple seasons, dude. They've been very good.
I'm
I've
sorry.
been high on them coming into this season because I just said, look, they just need a couple big-time playmakers. He's built everything else so good over the last couple of years. This is their year to take the next step. So I like that, yeah. All right.
I also like him just because he's built like a brick shit house. The dude's such a massive dude. He's just cool, you know?
He sure is. Cheers for the week. All right. I actually have to think of mine for a second. So, Pete, kick us off.
Yeah. Let me see what I wrote down here. Hold on. So my cheer of the week. Oh, well, I just wrote the fact that Notre Dame had a week off. We didn't play immediately after losing. I think that was good. We're going to come in refocused. We're going to come in sharp, and we're going to come in and ball out, especially with the first home game of the season. But in general, cheers of the week to my girlfriend and I moving in together, finally having almost all of our stuff in, and the new digs, the new pad, the new flat, as the Brits say. It's pretty dope. So I look forward to having all you guys over once I get the TVs mounted here in a couple days. So once I do, you'll be over, Justin, and then Russ around the holidays, you'll be over too, my man. So yeah, been a lot, been very busy, have been a little sick, been traveling a lot, but it's been good. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Great job. Wonderful. Russ.
Well, Pete likes to leave when I come home, so I don't know. He likes to go when I come back. He leaves.
Hey, well, how about this? I leave when you that's your fault. It's both of our faults, dude. Come on.
You come to visit. I'm giving you the open invitation.
Yeah.
It's just like, no hurricanes yet, knock on wood.
Oh, yeah, come on. Don't jinx it. I tried last year in the hurricane. Come on. I had to cancel my trip.
We've had a lot of rain, but no hurricane. A lot of rain.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, a lot of rain. But I'm just cheers to football, dude. We got football all the way. We got football tonight with college football. We got NFL going on all the way to Monday, and then kick it off next week. Cheers to football. Let's go. Just girlfriends, suck it. It's football all the way till February. Let's go. That's where we're going to be. We're going to be on the couch, drinking beer, on the couch, watching football. And then we got October baseball. So,
Best time of year, baby.
Sports.
Mm-hmm. And while I'll be spending a fair amount of time on the couch, I will also be spending a fair amount of time on a plane in the next couple months because my cheer of the week is just cheers to life. I'm so blessed to live this life that I live over here by the beach and realize that there's so many people that would just be so eager to have the things that I have. And honestly, I take it for granted. I feel like I'm just so fortunate. And I just take a look at what I have, the freedom to go anywhere. I don't have kids yet. I don't have a wife yet. I don't have a girlfriend right now. I don't have really anything. I don't own a house. It's just me and my car and my instruments. And next weekend, I'm headed to Hawaii. The week after that, I'm headed to Bali for, I believe it's 10 days or so, 8 days, something like that. And then potentially going to Africa for work after that in November. So I've got a lot of travel coming up, boys. Of course, I'll be here anytime I can, leading the way here like I do. But overall, I'm just experiencing life, man. Just got to live life. So it's great to be living life.
Yeah, just LIVIN, baby. That's awesome, Justin. Good stuff, man. I'll be traveling a lot. I'll be traveling a lot this fall too, just in general, guys. I'll be in Vegas all next week, so I'll try to see if I can do the show on Tuesday or Wednesday, but I'm in Vegas from Saturday to Thursday for a trade show, and then I'll be in Salt Lake City. I'll be in Cabo. I'll be Chicago, back in Vegas in October. So just a lot, dude. Just a lot, I know. But yeah, good stuff, guys. It was good getting back. Thanks for saving me a seat. I appreciate it, dude.
Indeed. Well, hey, thank you all for tuning in to Touchdown in Paradise here on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with a friend. I'm Justin.
I'm Russ.
I'm Pete.
And we will see you next time.